I remember thinking, how could I'm not a thief. Hey guys, Caleb Face here to discuss 25 things I've learned in my 25 years, but associate it with each year that I was born. So, first year, 1 year old. I mean, I can't really remember that far back. I do have a good memory. I've been blessed with a great memory. So I may not remember somebody's name, but I remember what they were wearing, what they, funny enough, and makes sense when I'm into fashion, what they looked like, and what they said. So from 1 year old, though I can't remember that far back, I did learn, first thing I learned, how to walk. That's pretty obvious. I learned how to walk. Second thing I learned when I was 2 years old, learned how to talk. When I was 3 years old, I learned that if I was scared, that I should just pray. I do remember running to my mom when I was that young and thinking, Mom, I'm scared. And she told me, well, mijo, just pray. And that has helped me ever since. When I was 4, I learned how to put my shoes on, albeit they were Velcro strap-ons, they weren't tying my laces, and that's where number 5. When I was 5 years old, I learned how to tie my shoes. When I was 6, I was in first grade, and that was the first time that I had a disabled student in my class, and it educated me on disabilities. I had to realize not everybody has legs that move like mine do. When I was 7, I was in 2nd grade, and I remember learning about the life of a butterfly, and I remember thinking, wow, this is so beautiful how something that's kind of fat and lumpy can roll up inside a cocoon and then go through this process where it mushes itself and then becomes free and flies away and is beautiful. I learned that because our whole class had a butterfly collection, and once the butterflies had all metamorphosized, we all went out as a class and let them free. When I was 8 in 3rd grade, I remember learning that not everybody could afford a backpack, and that sounds so strange. I remember one of my classmates pulling his homework out of his pocket and then uncrumpling it. I was like, why is he doing that? When I asked him, he told me that his parents didn't have money to buy a backpack. And so what did I ask my mom to do? I asked my mom, hey mom, one of my friends at school doesn't have a backpack. Can we get him a backpack? And my mom got him a backpack and a Bible. So I learned that not everybody has what I am being blessed with. When I was 9 in 4th grade, I learned the difference between yes and yeah. Of course, they both mean the same thing, but yeah isn't professional. If you are in an interview and you respond with yeah, that is not professional whatsoever. If you're with friends, you can say yeah, but if you're in a professional setting, you need to be saying yes. When I was 10 years old and in 5th grade, I remember learning that even your friends are going to disappoint you, and you just have to pick yourself back up, you just have to keep on going, and if your friend or person in your life continues to disappoint you, first off, tell them, and if they continue to do it, it's your life. Exit from them. When I was 11 in 6th grade, I remember being accused that I stole my teacher's wallet. And I remember thinking, even if you are obviously not a thief, but even if you're a good person and you're getting good grades and you're being admired by someone, aka the teacher in this example, that doesn't matter. Someone can still look at you as something you are not. When I was 12 years old in 7th grade, I remember learning that when you make a promise to God, you keep that promise. I broke a promise, and that was the end of a friendship, and that was my fault. You may not believe God, but when you make a promise to someone, you keep that because you reap what you sow. When I was 13 in 8th grade, I learned what a haircut could do, because from kindergarten all the way to 7th grade, I had the same exact hair that my dad would do every single day. And I decided I'm done with this. In this situation, I was like, I'm gonna let my hair be a bowl cut. I know. Anyway, so I learned that a bowl cut can really change the way people look at you. That sounds so catty, but I learned the power of a haircut. When I was 14 years old in 9th grade, I learned from a project that my freshman year English teacher made us do. She made us get up in front of class with a group and lip sing for a minute. I dreaded it because I was like, what? What? You're gonna make me lip sing in front of my class? And I learned, in order to become a better person, in order to become a better speaker, in order to become better at anything, you need to be pushed and you need to put yourself out of your comfort zone. You must put yourself out of your comfort zone. If you don't, you can't succeed. You had to fake that you were comfortable. And that's something I really value. Truly, to this day, I've learned that in order to progress, you have to be uncomfortable. When I was 15 in 10th grade, I learned the true power of fashion. I lost like 20 pounds. I shot up from 5'3" to 5'7", and I was like 116 pounds. And I remember finally being able to fit into skinny jeans. I remember finally being able to fit into the clothes I wanted. And that's when I started getting all this attention. And it made me feel good at first, but then I realized these people weren't paying attention to me a year ago. What changed? This changed. And although it made me feel giddy for a little bit, I realized it was all materialistic. When I was 16 in 11th grade, I learned how to survive in high school without my sister. Now, my sister probably doesn't know this. I mean, she knows that I love her, but she probably doesn't realize that even in 10th grade, I spent a lot of time with her because although I had all these people who were friends, I really didn't feel comfortable with them. I only felt comfortable with my sister. And so when I was 16, I learned that my sister is gonna live her own life, and that's okay. I have to live mine. And of course, it's not like she disappeared from my life. My sister and I still, we still talk and text. But I learned that you have to become independent. You really do. Anybody does. We all have to. When I was 17 in 12th grade, I was vice president of my student body, like president of Interact Club, and treasurer of my class. And I was such a little snot. Not everybody liked me in high school, but they had to deal with me because I was involved and I was doing my job and I was doing it right. And whether I got love or hate because of it, that's good. Because a lot of us think that hate and love are opposite of each other, and they're not. The opposite of love is indifference. And if people are indifferent about you, that means you're boring. That's also something else I learned. That's a 17 and a half. Okay, at the end of my freshman year in college, I was voted to be president of the on-campus student government. Now, the girl I was running against was going to be a 5th-year senior and had been involved with the organization all 3 years. I was brand new, and in that case, it got me president at the end of my freshman year when I was running against a girl who was going to be a 5th-year senior. So to wrap that up, at 18, I learned smiling and being nice and biting your tongue will help you. So this one's a bit more serious. When I was 19 and in my sophomore year of college, I learned that if you don't manage your health, it will overcome you. I started getting seizures, and I had to humble myself and look at life and understand you now have something that you have to take care of your body, or else it will overcome you. And thank God, last November, I was cleared of seizures from the doctors, but it took a while. It took years for that to happen. And I learned that at 19. When I was 20, during my junior year of college, I learned that there are politics in everything. When I was in student government, wanting to see whether I should run for this position, achieve for this, go for that, and this girl sat me down and said, "Caleb, do you like politics or do you like politics? If you are a person who enjoys playing politics, that doesn't mean you should go into politics. That means you should find out what you actually like and then play the political game in that arena." When I was 21, I learned that connections will get you a lot further in life than experience and grades. I had certain people in my life who hadn't done as much as I had done throughout all my years at college, but they were already getting offers within the similar field that I was trying to get into. And I looked at my resume thinking, what's wrong with me? But then I realized connections will secure you something that good grades and a diploma won't necessarily. And that's just life. When I was 22 in New York, I learned the true meaning of hustling. I was modeling and acting, and I had 3 part-time jobs just to support myself. And I loved that year in New York. I learned so much, but I learned that you really have to hustle to make what you want happen. It's not going to be given to you. When I was 23, living at the end of my stay in New York, I learned that you have to have a backup plan for your backup plan. Unfortunately for me, and fortunately, during my last 4 months of New York, I was given free housing because I became an RA at the Manhattan School of Music. If you guys don't know what an RA is, it's a resident assistant. You basically become a person living in the residence halls, assisting people who live there. And I was given that. I had free rent in New York, and I thought it would last forever. Not that I was naive, but one of the other RAs had been there for 3 years. And all of a sudden, it comes mid-July, and myself and the other RA who had been there for 3 years were told, hey, we're stopping this location and we're moving to downtown Manhattan. You can imagine all the thoughts that are going through my head. I was like, wow, this is way too late. I don't have enough money saved up. I learned that you need a backup plan for your backup plan. And when I was 24 living in California, I really learned that life is going to keep on going, and if you don't hop on that train, opportunities are going to leave you. So this whole past year, after learning what I had learned in New York, which was basically street knowledge combined with fashion, combined with everything that one learns right after they've exited college, I learned that it's okay to take time to just be you, to exist, and to reflect. Because if you don't reflect, you won't grow. You won't better yourself. And sometimes it's okay to take a pause. And though I've only been 25 for a day, I have once again not just been reminded, but I have been indoctrinated with the value of family, the value of knowing that it's okay to just have a low-key birthday with your parents. Not everybody has both parents in their life, but I am blessed to. And today I had a nice dinner at a restaurant called Sushi Park. Shout out to Sushi Park. And I taught my mother how to use chopsticks. My dad kind of already could do it a little bit, but him and my mother had dinner with me using chopsticks, and that's something that really just meant a lot to me. And I'm starting 25 years valuing my parents and valuing my time with them. To wrap up all of those, they may not have all been related to fashion, but they were all honest, and that's what matters. I hope you guys have learned something from this. I hope that you all continue to learn something each of your years. If you guys think that you are a screw up, don't. Go back on your life and realize something that you've learned. Because if you have regrets, that means you didn't learn your lesson. That means that you're still repeating whatever messed you up then, whatever got you into trouble. And you need to learn. You need to teach yourself. Only yourself can better your own future. You have to decide to be happy. You have to decide to start trying. You have to decide your own future. Not your mother, not your father, not the church. You have to decide what you are going to do. So with that, all the best. God bless. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.